We're going to be talking how to manage your pipeline and understanding which calls come first. Because you know what? Most salespeople don't get it right. That's the topic on today's episode. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Center. The show begins right now.
You're listening to the Sales Hunter Podcast with Mark Hunter, where the focus is to help you as a sales leader sell with confidence and integrity. And now here's your host.
Okay, let's take a look at your pipeline. Now, the challenge right now is to make sure that your pipeline is maximized and as full as possible. But here's the deal. What calls do you place a priority on? Here's where I think many salespeople get it wrong. What they do is they focus on the deals that they can close. Well, I'm going to focus on this deal that I can close because that's what's going to bring. But the problem is that can empty out your pipeline. That can wind up giving you agita because you don't have enough in there. So then people say, well, I need to be prospecting. Okay, but how do we break that down? Here's your priority. Here's what I say. Your number one priority are inbound leads, inbound qualified leads. Now, not necessarily marketing leads that come to you, but inbound qualified leads. Okay, that's your number one priority. Why? Because you want to start the process with them. Second priority are prospects that you have highly activated. In other words, these are really spot on prospects for you, but for some reason, they just haven't jumped in the game yet with you. That's your second priority. Then your third priority is to drop down and take those that are close to closing and get those closed. And then in between, you're managing all of the others in between. Now, here's why. Here's what I see and why I say this. It comes down to making sure that you're putting new stuff into your pipeline. This is so critical. I see too many salespeople. What they do is they focus on the deals they have right now, the ones they can close and get those in, and they don't nurture enough the top of the pipeline. The top of the pipeline has to be a priority. You've got to be focused on the top. And this again is why I say, break it down. Now, let's go back to this whole thing I said about marketing leads versus qualified leads. Okay, big difference. Your marketing department may send you in routine leads, or there may be routine ways that your CRM system provides you with leads. Those aren't necessarily high priority. The high priority ones are the ones where there's an itch. In other words, they're inquiring of you. They've sent a request in. They're asking for something. These are ones that you've got to take care of immediately. These are not, oh, I'll get to it after I take care of these really important phone calls on trying to get this deal closed or get this proposal. No, that's the highest priority. Here's what I found. Speed is of the most essence at the top of the funnel versus the bottom of the funnel. Let me repeat that again. Speed is of the most essence at the top of the funnel versus the bottom of the funnel. Why? The top of the funnel, my whole goal is to activate you, get you conversing with me, get you talking, get us having some sort of a dialogue. That is absolutely key. At the bottom of the pipeline, if I am 30 minutes delayed, we'll say, in getting you a proposal, okay, I'm going to get you a proposal Tuesday morning. And instead of 9:30, I get it to you at 10:30. That's not going to change the deal. That's not going to change the deal, okay? But this is where I see salespeople missing it. They put all their focus on that bottom part. Time is important throughout the whole sales process, but it's not as minute by minute crucial as it is at the top of the funnel. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your calendar and start breaking it out to where you have white space in your calendar for those new incoming leads. You may be working on proposals, we'll say, for the entire morning. Great. But you want to make sure there's enough white space in your calendar that if you get a new incoming lead, qualified lead, you can activate it and you can move on it right then and there. And if you take 10, 15 minutes to do it, that's okay. That's fine. Do that. You will put more into your pipeline by making this simple adjustment than almost anything else. But do that. One other piece in here. As you look at the middle of your pipe, okay? And I said that was kind of the priority you do after you take care of the stuff at the bottom. There's still a little bit of a segmentation that you need to do there. You want to be looking at who are the opportunities that are going to yield you the greatest amount of revenue now? Now. Now, the reason I say this is because right now, with the economy and everything happening, speed in closing the deal or getting the prospect to close is more important than ever. So you may have some big opportunities, but they may be way out there. And you may have some other opportunities in your pipe that, if you spend some time with them, they're smaller, but you can close them quickly. Focus on those. Focus on those. It is about understanding how to use speed, when to use speed, and who to use speed on. Hey, I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Every week I bring you a short episode like this. Second episode each week is with a subject matter expert where we do a deep dive into a specific topic. Why? Because I want to help you see and achieve what you didn't think was possible. I'm Mark Hunter, Sales Hunter. Hey, are you subscribing to the show? Have you left me a review? Sure would appreciate it if you did both. Thanks so much. Take care. Great selling.